Hi there, this is Joe from SquareXO, and this is episode 51. I'm joined by Rebecca.
Hello.
And Nicole.
Hello.
No Dan this week. I think he's tired after redesigning our new logo, which hopefully you all saw. It's basically a square, an X and an O, which kind of stands for SquareXO if you hadn't guessed. But yeah, it's a really nice logo actually. I like it. You like it?
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's growing on me.
At first I was a bit and then I got my little bit because I said I'll put the green triangle as and change that to a green triangle, that A, and he did, and I was quite pleased with myself. He's the designer after all. What do I know? I just put a suggestion in. But yeah, no, it's grown on me. I quite like it. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, before I forget, don't forget you can follow us on twitter.com/square_XO. Visit our website at squarexo.co.uk. We're on twitch.tv/squarexo. I promise I'll do some streaming soon. I was quite tempted the other day actually, but I'm sure others will be doing that as well. We're on Podbean. We're on iTunes. We're on YouTube. So if you search us up, you'll find us in all those places. Don't forget you can also back us on patreon.com/squarexo. And if you can't afford to back us, but just want to give us a little donation, then we're on Ko-Fi as well. But I'm not going to explain that because it's too complicated. Just go to the bottom of our website and it says buy us a coffee. If you click that, you can donate £3, I think it is. And that just goes towards hosting and all that sort of thing. Okay, that's enough of that. I know it sounds like a lot of begging for money, but I'm just getting it out there because we don't have any ads. We don't have anything like that on our websites or anything like that. So that's the only way we can sort of, you can help support sites. So yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. Good. Okay, coming up in the show today, we've got the news, and then we've got our topic by Rebecca. Just pick that one out. And we've got what we've played, here's the questions, and then we've got a special feature which we've been working with our community with. Then we'll talk about what's coming up in terms of game releases, and then we'll say goodbye. So there we go. Let's get on with the news. Okay, whew, right. It's getting warm in here. I'll tell you what.
It's freezing in my house.
It's freezing in my house. I can't feel my toes.
I've had the heating on all day. Well, it's been snowing outside. I don't know if yous have got any snow, but
Pathetic amount of snow. Yeah.
Well, ours was pathetic, but that's not the news. I'll get on with that instead. Right, Kingdom Come Deliverance. It sold 1 million copies, over 1 million copies. I'm going to talk about that game later, because that's what I've been playing. Obviously, I've reviewed it now too. It's on the website, the review. It's 1 million copies, which is brilliant news, because I think it deserves it. But also, there's a new patch coming out, because as some may know, it's got some bugs in it. When I've played it, it's 2 huge patches has already been released before I even played, so I didn't really encounter any game breaking bugs. In fact, I can barely think of any bugs I encountered, but there's a new patch coming as well. There's no actual date for the delivery of this, but apparently it's going to change some issues with the save and exit functionality, which again I'll talk about later. The lock picking, pickpocketing, which is something I've got an issue with that I'll touch on later. And also it's going to fix some alchemy, and it's going to have some many other bug related fixes. So all these bugs that people have been reporting, they're probably on it. So yeah, but I'm just quite pleased it sold over 1 million copies, so congrats to them. Sticking with patches, Assassin's Creed Origins has also got a new patch coming, or it's out now actually, this one, which adds New Game Plus mode and the Museum Style Discovery Tour. Nicole might know a bit more about that. I don't know if she's played it yet. No.
I've played it, not looked at the patches, so I've not played it in ages.
The patch went live on Tuesday, I think it was, for PS4, PC and Xbox One. It was a 2.6 gigabyte download, and on PC compared to 5.5 gigabyte on console. Apparently the New Game Plus lets you start fresh without losing your character progression, although it's only available after you finish the story. You'll be able to bring over all your equipment, abilities and crafting status inventory. but any sort of items that you earn through story progression, you have to gain again, basically. One of my biggest and most exciting bits of news, considering we've been talking about this in podcast a few times, is that Burnout Paradise is being remastered for PS4. Yes.
You sound so happy about it.
We've talked about this in podcasts a few times, so it's quite funny that we get this bit of news at last, but that's good. It's out March 16th, and it includes the original game, 8 add-on packs, and also the Big Surf Island DLC. It also features a range of technical enhancements for greater visual fidelity, including high-resolution textures for players to explore Paradise City in 4K, with support for 60 frames per second on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, and it will cost $34.99. Don't know how I feel about the price, but apart from that, all sounds good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be reviewing that. Okay, next bit of news, and I've got a wee bit of extra to add to this next bit of news, so I'll mention that. Gamer Network has announced that it will host an event in Berlin. Eurogamer Expo Berlin will feature AAA games and all the things you would expect from Eurogamer Expo, really, except it's in Germany instead. It will host for 28th September to 30th September, and they're expecting to have around 20,000 visitors at the show, which is quite reasonable. I think Gamescom, which is in Cologne, that must host well into the hundreds of thousands. I'm not sure how many, but it's a lot of people they host, so it's a lot smaller than that. But even still, it's quite interesting to see them choose Germany, really, considering Gamescom's there the month before, August normally. So it's a bit of an odd one to choose Berlin, but maybe they'll still get the people going. Maybe people just think, oh, I'm not going to bother going to Cologne if I can just go to Berlin and my city. But the people who are in Berlin, they might just think, oh, well, I'll go there instead then. Or maybe they'll go to both. Sticking with Eurogamer, actually, today it was announced that the Gamer Network, who own Eurogamer and Games Industry and VG247 and quite a few other sites, as well as run those Eurogamer Expos, they've been bought by... I've forgotten the name of the company that's bought them, but basically the name of the company that's bought them own PAX. So it's quite interesting. They've obviously not bought them for their websites, although the websites come as part of the package, but they've obviously took note of them from Eurogamer Expo and thought, all right, we'll have a piece of that, so they've bought them, and so they're now owned by the same company who own PAX. So there you go. So will Eurogamer Expo eventually, it's not this year, but next year, Eurogamer Expo could very well be PAX UK.
Oh gosh.
And I'm sure, isn't PAX a comic thing?
Yeah, I thought so.
So if it's kind of mixed, if they end up mixing comics and games together, that'll be interesting, won't it?
Yeah, there's
merging of communities. Yeah.
I'm not a big comic fan myself, but I can see that there's quite a relation, and there is quite a lot of comic gamers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Read Pop, that's the name of the company, Read Pop. I just had to look it up there because I'd forgotten the name of them. It's kind of almost got breaking news because it's only happened. It was only announced an hour or two ago. Okay, a few more bits of news. EA Play will take place in Hollywood Palladium on June 9 to 11th, 2018, from Saturday 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday and Monday 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Apparently the new Battlefield's going to be there. They've actually said that the new Battlefield will be there without actually saying, oh, by the way, there's a new Battlefield. So I guess they have now.
Oh dear.
So that will be there, and probably some other surprises, etc. But we'll see, because it will no doubt be streamed live, so we can all watch it and go, yay. And Fortnite's Battle Pass Season 3 is out now, and my children seem quite happy about that. Brings with it new hoverboard, hand cannon, Battle Pass exclusive cosmetics. I don't really know a lot about this game. I played it once just to I was playing it with them a lot downstairs because they're all obsessed with it, and I just didn't get it. It just looked like an empty shell of a game. And then apparently this season 3's come out, and I saw one of them play it the other day, and it just looks so much better now. They've filled it out with more scenery and trees and stuff. So it was almost like I was playing a beta version, a sort of alpha version or something, and then they release a season pass that you need to pay for, and all of a sudden the game looks better. That's a worrying trend. I hope you don't have to keep paying for trees, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one. Anyway, and of course the last bit of news is the charts. I did have last week's charts, but I've managed to get this week's. So FIFA 18's number 1, Grand Theft Auto back again at number 2, Call of Duty number 3, Monster Hunter number 4, UFC 3 is number 5, and there's a new entry at number 6 for Metal Gear Survive, so that's quite a low new entry. Shadow Colossus number 7, Mario Kart number 8, Super Mario Odyssey number 9, Assassin's Creed Origin number 10. I don't even see there's Kingdom Come Deliverance number 12. Obviously that was number 2 last week, but I think it's having stock issues. I don't think it's because people don't want it. I think it's just because there's a lack of stock, because they didn't expect it to sell so well. Because if you look at Games website, for instance, I don't think they even have it listed.
Really?
Yeah, because I was looking at Amazon, and it's sort of 2 to 3 week wait if you want it.
Oh gosh.
This website, and it wasn't even listed. I couldn't find it, so I presume that means they don't have it in stock or whatever, and they don't know when they'll get it back in. So yeah, interesting.
Oh dear.
And that is the news.
Okay then, so we'll move on to our topic for the week. I wrote an article about this topic at the start of February, and I have noticed through my years of gaming that there seems to be a lot of trends in the video game world, and you'll get one game that sort of sets off a snowball effect, and then it will pick up different games, and at the end of it you have about 50 different zombie games or 50 different pirate games. So I wrote a full article about this, and I don't have any problem with it. I think that in a way, trend setting is quite a good way to get new and exciting games on the market that take a twist on the, I guess what you would call the standard theme that game would start with, if you know what I mean. So you can start off with a plain zombie game, and then, like, this is my article related, and another company will be like, well, we want to do the same thing, but we also want to put a twist in it, and then another company will see their effort and they'll want to put a twist in theirs. So I think the trend snowballing effect is quite a good thing, but at the same time I had a lot of responses from people in the community saying that it does make that genre of games stale, and it makes them not look forward to a game if it's labelled a zombie game or a pirate game. So I just wondered what you guys thought about the trendsetters.
I've got a question about this actually, which I wonder about. Obviously, it takes a good while to make a game. I mean, some games can take 4 years to develop, some 2, but they're never just made just like that, right? So how come, like, take No Man's Sky, for instance, there was also, throw some other space games at me that came out, Battlefront.
Oh, God.
There was the big one with the...
Space is not my forte.
I'm just thinking that a lot came out at once is my point, right? Yeah. And I can completely understand what you're saying, but how does it happen? Because if these games all take so long to develop, they're not just pulling it out of thin air because someone else has made one. It's quite interesting. It's the same with the Sea of Thieves and the Ubisoft pirate one.
Skull and Bones.
Just so happened to come out at the same time.
The case study that I argued with mine is, obviously I talked about zombies, so I think a lot of video games that are zombie related have sort of taken inspiration from Resident Evil, and obviously the first Resident Evil came out in 1996, and maybe it's just a case of one thing comes out and then a lot of different companies are all inspired by it. Obviously they're not transversing, so they don't know what other companies are doing, and it just so happens as they reveal, oh, we've all liked the same thing, and it's all sort of sparked a big trend, if you know what I mean.
No, I do get the point. I think it's a good it's good in a way, because as you say, kind of in a way they kind of like learn from each other, if you know what I mean. Like it's never like two of the exact same game, but I mean at the same time it does kind of make the market quite like bland. Like I don't want to play like just continuous lines of zombie games or pirate games. I like something that stands out. And I mean, if anything, it just kind of, makes games that come out around that time that are extremely kind of different more successful. Because it's just like, there's been Dying Light and like Dead Island Definitive, like they all kind of come out once they kind of, around the kind of same time, and you get something that comes out that's vastly different, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go to that because, there's nothing like that at the moment because it's just swamped with like post-apocalyptic zombie titles.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean, I definitely have had instances where I've been looking for games to play, and obviously I finished Last of Us, which is probably one of the most standout, zombie post-apocalyptic games. That's one most people have played. 90% of the gaming community, I think, will at least know what it is, if not have played it. And after I finished that, I was sort of like, well, that was really good. I liked that. I wouldn't mind playing another zombie game to see how they took it, which I guess is the market and the developers affecting me and, pushing all these ideas of zombies in my head. And I'm like, well, I need another fix now. But when I was looking at games to play, I did go for Dying Light, but I'd noticed that Dying Light and Dead Island and Left 4 Dead, they all sort of, seem to be the same sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was very, well, what, new thing is it going to bring to the table? And that's why I went for Dying Light, because I really like the parkour aspect. But I do think that a lot of the games I talk to people about and I say, oh, what do you like? A lot of them do seem to fall into, you can think of at least another game that has exactly the same theme or genre, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even if there's any slight differences, you'd be like, oh, yeah, well, I mean, to take it for this one, there's a lot of indie games that depict children in distress. So Inside, Little Nightmares, Limbo, there's 3 straight off the bat. Yeah. It does seem to be a case of, video game developers see something that's effective, or they just, I don't know if they're just, having ideas at the same time without knowing what the other people are having ideas about. But I do think it's really interesting that there is such a repetitiveness in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
But I think these people do talk to each other. I mean,
I think they do a bit.
Like a lot of them are friends. It's quite, even though it seems quite a big sort of widespread industry, it's not really. It's actually quite a tight knit industry.
Yeah.
Where quite a lot of people know each other and who each other are and stuff like that. And a lot of people talk to each other and stuff. So they might go, oh, we're wanting this. They'll go, oh, we're wanting this. I mean, or like you say, they might, when they do a reveal, they might show the game. Whoever's working on the game might go, oh, like, look at that. And it's probably quite easy. If your game's in development, it's probably quite easy to change it. Like, if you think it's a really great idea, if it's a similar sort of genre, it's probably quite easy to change, like, elves into zombies or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's probably quite easy to change the direction just by a bit of jigging here and there.
Exactly.
A bit like Call of Duty would add in the zombies.
Yeah, I talked about that in my article. I said something along the lines of, isn't it interesting that Call of Duty is obviously set in its own different world. It's a first-person shooter, and it's obviously about the wars, and it's all of a sudden they have this add-on, chapters which are zombie, like Nazi zombies and stuff. And I'm like, I was very interested as to why they added that to their game. Was it because they wanted to see what it would work like, or was it because they saw that genre was successful and they thought, should we try and cash in on this as well? That's what I was really interested in when I was doing my article.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's trends in everything, isn't there?
Well, exactly. There's
trends in movies and trends in music and everything.
I mean, but do you think it's in a way it's probably good, isn't it? Because I mean, I don't know if you can so much count it as a trend, but it is kind of reoccurring within the genre. But with like first-person shooters such as Battlefield, Call of Duty, Battlefront, they all kind of make an appearance at the same time of the year. So do you think that maybe kind of these trends instigate competition, which obviously is quite healthy, isn't it, amongst games, because that's what makes them strive to make the games better, if you will.
Yeah.
So, as much as it's a pain, because I hate it at the end of the year, because like Call of Duty, Battlefield, everything comes out and I've got an interest in all of them. So it becomes very very kind of bland at that kind of time of year for me.
Yeah, but I guess the reason they came out that time of year is just because they're popular franchises, though. And that's the time of year they sell the most.
But do you think it's a coincidence that they're all first-person shooters?
because that's the most sort of popular genre, I guess.
Yeah.
And for that type of franchise, Call of Duty, I mean, Assassin's Creed's become kind of like just one of those type of franchises that just is a beast and sells tons. And I mean, any game like that, any game that suddenly becomes, oh, we must have it, generally would come out that time of year. I mean, there's some exceptions, maybe like Grand Theft Auto, they could release that January 1st or whatever, and it'd still sell a bundle load, but you know what I mean, there's certain games, maybe even The Last of Us now, they can pick and choose when that comes out because it'll sell. But I think just that time of year, it just seems to be Call of Duty time of year, doesn't it? And Battlefield and all that. Because they just know it's going to sell. Don't know why. Guess it's just because it's Christmas and kids like those sort of games, so they know their parents will buy them it, even though they're probably not meant to if it's an 18 or whatever.
I guess as a closing point, do you guys think that it is a good thing, you know, developers sort of copying the same ideas as each other, or would you like to see a more, you know, varied set of games? Would you like every developer to sort of, I'm actually going to make this sort of game, and you know, I like their idea, but I'm going to go in a completely different direction and make this? Do you know, what's your opinion on it as a whole?
I don't know. As much as I like kind of original titles making an appearance, I kind of like, I understand that kind of taking these ideas from one another is what kind of makes games ultimately better, because they learn from the mistakes of other games and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But obviously it just means that they're a bit more kind of plentiful, and at times that can be a frustrating thing when you just want a bit of variation. So
I think there's always going to be sort of repetition amongst games and developers, because I don't know, that it's just the way it's always been.
How do you feel about it though?
Games. Well, I mean, it's just something
doesn't bother you
need to live with, and it's always happened, and it always will. I mean, if you look at any generation, there's always been some sort of inspiration from another title. I mean, for instance, Uncharted's Tomb Raider, isn't it? Isn't it a bit about it? But obviously, they've made it better than Tomb Raider. They've took what was good about Tomb Raider, and they've added their own twist and made it better. And obviously, if Tomb Raider didn't exist, we wouldn't have Uncharted. Now we know like that, and it's the same for many titles that you play. It's probably a bit like when I just played Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you didn't have Skyrim, you wouldn't have that, even though they are really completely different. So I mean, even though they're the same sort of genre in terms of open world RPG, they are completely different styles of games. Yeah. So I mean, I think you need it. I don't think there's any harm in it, really.
I think the thing is, at the end of the day, you get to decide what you want to play. And if there's a bigger variation out there of games of the same genre for you to play, then you just have a bigger pick. It's not just like, I want to play a zombie game, so I have to play Last of Us. It's, I want to play a zombie game, so I have 20 different titles to choose from. Or I want to play a pirate game, so I've got 15 titles to choose from. I like it. I think it's really good for the industry. I think I was just thinking about all the games. I was looking at my shelf and I was like, I have a lot of zombie games on there. And I was just like, I'm going to write a topic about this. But a lot of people did comment saying that they were fed up of it. And they thought it was, you know, it was very popular trend, the zombie one, but it was going stale. And they were kind of like, ugh, another zombie game. I'm not interested. So I just wondered, you know, as a whole, of what we thought. But I think we all sort of agree that it's, you know, quite good for the industry as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. At the end of the day, you don't need to buy them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just buy what you want.
Yeah. All right, then. I think that is the topic over with, and we'll be back next week with another topic. But as for now, I'll hand to Nick.
Okay, so now it's time to talk about what we've been playing. Joe, I have a sense that you're aching to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance, so I'll kind of let you kickstart this one.
Yeah, well, actually, before I played that, I've been playing something else. Bridge Constructor Portal. Now, I won't, it's still embargoed actually, so I won't talk about it, but I just thought I'd mention the review will be live on the 28th, so we'll talk about that next week. But I just thought I'd mention I've been playing it because it's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance, let's move on that. And yeah, it's great. Obviously, I've written a review on the site, you can read that. I pulled a wee quote out from it and I put it on a little image. because I was proud of the quote. I thought, oh, that's a good quote, so I'll put that up there. So yeah, look for that on Twitter, and then it will also give you the link to the review. But yeah, great game. It is buggy, I have to say. I mean, I've not really encountered anything major. The odd bit here and there. The thing, I'll start with things I don't really like about it. I don't like the lockpick mechanic. That's just weird. You sort of have to find a sweet spot with the right analog stick where it will turn orange when you've found the sweet spot, and then you need to turn the left analog stick while keeping the sweet spot on the sort of lock mechanic.
Oh,
that sounds like
really
every
hard
Resident
to
Evil
do.
game I've ever played.
It's really difficult, and the lockpick, the pickpocketing is just as bad. You need to kind of go up to somebody. You need to hold it up on them for a certain time, hold the button, and it counts how long you've been doing it for. And if you do it too long, then you'll kind of get caught. But if you get it right, then you've only got that same amount of time to check what's in his pocket and take it. It's weird.
Gosh.
Yeah. Also, apparently they're going to fix those two things and make them a bit more user friendly. I think possibly if you were playing on PC, they would be easier to do. But I think on console it's just a bit too tricky. The combat is not the greatest, but I think that's just because it's quite realistic. You need to block and you need to hit and time your hits perfectly, sort of thing. So I think that's just more about practice. Throughout the game, you have like training arenas that you can go to, and you just go and speak to someone and they'll train with you. And they'll show you new techniques and stuff like that. And then obviously, because it's an RPG, your stats will increase and get better.
Yeah.
So obviously, as you get better, then it gets easier. And it's the same when you get new weapons, armor, and all that. But yeah, that's what I don't like about it. What I do like about it is that, it's basically a medieval Skyrim.
That's really cool.
Honestly, this game completely flew under my radar. The first kind I really took notice of it is when, in my review, right at the start of my review, I mentioned it, that Deep Silver done a tweet of someone's first experience with the game, and they were just saying about what happened in it and how their decisions changed everything about what was going on, and it just made me sit up and take notice. And then I watched a few videos of it, and then I just went, oh my god, it's got Skyrim. But it's so that's what it's like. But obviously, there's no dragons, elves, anything like that. There's no fantasy when you're traveling through one vast area to the next. You'll never run into a monster that will attack you or whatever. You'll rarely encounter anything really in that respect. But so it's quite realistic in a way. But what I like about it is the story is just really good. It's quite engaging. Yeah. So you're sitting watching all this sort of medieval stuff about kings and brothers who are overthrown kings and stuff like that, and your village will get raided, and before you know it, you're burying your parents and stuff. My god, it can be quite heavy, but it's a really good story, and it's not just fighting. A lot of time you'll do some detective work and stuff like that as well, and you'll have to help cure people and stuff. So yeah, there's loads of good things about it. One of the most interesting things about it though is the decisions you make really do affect the game. I mean, you hear this all the time, but they totally do. Because I can give you a good example again that I wrote in my review. What happened was I was with this priest and we were getting drunk because I was after some information and he wouldn't give it to me unless I got drunk with him. So we're in the pub getting drunk, and I wake up the next day and he's going, oh, I'm too hungover, you do my sermon for me. So I was kind of just sitting about going, what's going on? My guy's sort of staggering back and forth because he's still drunk. And I'm going, oh, what's happening? So I kind of walk along to do the sermon, but I was dithering about too much and I took too long, and he goes, off, you're not going to do it, then forget it. And then he wouldn't talk to me. So I went all the way to this other town. I found out some information about where I would be able to get the information. So I had to go all the way to this other town, and I got there and I had to look in this book. but the man wouldn't let me look in the book because his bones hurt, and he's going, off, you go over to the potion shop and get me some ointment, then I'll let you look in the book. So I went over there.
It's like Ocarina of Time.
It's crazy. So I went over there, right, and I goes, oh, give me the potion. He's going, I'll get it yourself. Have a look in the shelf. So I had a look in the shelf, but then somehow I managed to bump into the shop guard, and he got really angry with me, and he started hitting me. So I thought, I'm not having this. So I fought him back, and because I fought him back, the town guards then come in, and they're going, right, you're going to jail. Dear. And I'm going, oh no, I don't want to go to jail. So I started fighting the guard, and then eventually I got killed. Right? So it's got, so the save loaded up again, and because of the way the save system works, it saves at the end of a main quest, or it will save if you've been given a bed, or if you've bought a bed at an inn, or it will also save if you've got this potion that you can buy or that you're gifted. But I hadn't done any of that, so basically I ended up right at the start sitting in the pub again with the priest. This was after about an hour of doing all that. I ended up back in the same place. So this time I went into the sermon, I'd done it, and then he told me the information, and I went a completely different way.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it would have all sort of interlinked eventually though, and to get you at the same place. And that's just one example, but there's so many times it's happened to me that I've done something that's just completely changed it. And a lot of the time you'll have to make decisions you think, oh, I'm not doing that, that's a bit wrong. But if you kind of think about what your main aim is at the end of it, then you think, oh, I'll do that, and it's going to let me do this. And it really makes you think about what you need to do in the story. Excellent game. Really like it. And that's probably why I give it a 9 out of 10, I think. Yeah, so
I can't say...
Highly recommended.
It didn't appeal to me at all. So I'm glad someone enjoyed it, because I just looked at it and it just didn't do anything for me, to be honest. But,
you played it, did you, or just watched it? Did you play some of it? Or?
I just watched gameplay, because I was like, I'm not going to kind of fork out if I'm not going to enjoy it, because I saw mixed things. So I was just like, I'll watch gameplay, and I mean, if it ever goes down in price, I might kind of give it a go, seeing as you've spoken so highly of it, Joe. But I mean, other than that, it's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, I think the thing that just surprised me about it the most is the quality of it, of sort of the graphics, the story, just everything about it. I was expecting it to be kind of just one of these games that's a bit underwhelming, just graphically and story-wise, everything. I was just expecting it to be sort of, you get AAA, you get AA. I was expecting it to be an A game. But I would kind of class it as AAA game, really. I'd class it on level with sort of Skyrim, personally. So that surprised me, really.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that's about it. I think I've just really been playing that, plus the other game I mentioned, yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, what about you, Rebecca? What have you been playing?
So the final DLC for Little Nightmares came out on Friday, so I played that, and whoa, I feel so weird about it. Even now, 3 or 4 days later, that DLC was incredible, and they do something so clever, and I don't want to spoil it, but they'll sort of mention things in the second DLC drop, and you're like, oh, that's nice, but doesn't mean anything to me. And then at the end, you're like, oh my god, I now understand why they told me all those things in the first 2 DLC drops.
Yeah. So
I think that the storytelling aspect is just incredible, because there's no narrative, there's no words at all, but you still seem to get this amazing, A+ story that comes full circle. And I had a bit of a moment with it, because everybody who's played Little Nightmares knows that the controls are not amazing. And there's a section in the last DLC, The Residence, where you have to fend off these illusions with your flashlight. And I just could not, the controller was saying to me aim with R to aim your flashlight and burn them away. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I just kept dying, and I was like, how hard is this game? This is ridiculous. I was like, I'm going to have to downvote it. It's going to have to get a really bad score. And then I gave the controller to my boyfriend, and he was like, it's so easy. And turns out I was aiming with the wrong button, but
oh no,
we got there in the end. When you really get frustrated, and you're like, well, this is too hard. This is ridiculously hard. Why have they done that? Yeah, it was just me. But very clever, because everything else in the main game and in the DLCs, there's sort of fear, but you've always got an advantage against the enemies. It's always, you know, they're blind, or they're too fat to reach you, or they can't get you when you're on a certain piece of area. And in this one, it feels like you're really vulnerable, and you're sort of running around and you hear noises and you're like, oh my gosh, there's things everywhere and you don't know where they're going to pop out from. So it's just really, really good. But honestly, the finale and the conclusion is amazing. I was playing with my boyfriend and he figured out what was going to happen before I did, and then I was watching the scene and I was putting 2 and 2 together and I was like, oh my god, he's right, that is going to happen. And I was like, I don't want to play anymore because I know what's going to happen.
Oh no.
It's honestly, for an indie game like that, I'm shocked how good it is. Like, I am shocked, and I think more people should play it, because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I don't know, it's really short, you know, like, I'm not sure. But honestly, it's in the sale right now as well. Like, you should play it, and all the 3 DLCs, because they're out now. There's no waiting. You know, I had to wait 3 months for each DLC drop.
Yeah.
But you can just play it all in one go, and it's really cohesive, and it just works out so good, and it's some truly amazing storytelling. But my review will be up of it tomorrow, and then obviously I'll go into a bit more detail there. But yeah, they did such a good job, and I'm really sad it's over now. Like, that's always been upcoming for me, you know, like the DLC drops. Yeah. Now it's done, so I'm a bit lost. But wow, so good. Like, honestly, I don't think I've had more jaw-dropping moments than I have playing Little Nightmares ever.
Aww. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I know.
Yeah, I want you to play it.
For it. Yeah,
I know. You need to play it, Nicole.
I'm trying to get through the last thing you told me to play, woman.
I'm sorry, I'm such a bad influence.
You are. But yeah, okay, right. As for myself, I've mainly been playing Fi, or Fia, however you want to pronounce it. You know, it's stupid. But yeah, I've actually completed it, and I'll try not to kind of get too into depth in this kind of explanation, because I have reviewed it and it's gone up literally a couple of hours ago. But I completed it, and like, I'm on my way to platinum in it now, and I've really enjoyed it. Like, it was it's one of those games that the kind of mechanics don't really start to flourish until you get quite a way into the game. Okay. And I just found myself like taking a couple of hours to really get into it. But once I did, like, that was it. It started snowballing, and I was really thoroughly enjoying it. And it's just so good. It's like kind of Journey and Absu, where they create such an atmosphere by means of music and colour, and there's no dialogue or story, so a lot of it is left to assumption. And I just, like, I got to the end, and the end has got like an incredible twist that I didn't even see coming. Like, they don't let on about the twist at the end at all. So it happened, and it was just like, oh, okay, well, now I'm completely thrown. But it's it's really good. I can't explain how much I've enjoyed it, like, and I'm just kind of going around now trying to get all the collectibles and that to get the platinum. But I'm kind of gutted it's over, to be honest, because I did really enjoy it. And although I said before that the kind of platforming mechanics were a bit kind of clumsy and whatnot, it became more forgivable as I kind of got through the game. It was really frustrating, but it just amounted to so much by the end of it that I just thought, oh, I don't care, this game's really good, I'll just kind of roll with it. But yeah, like, if you want to hear my thoughts, just read my review, because I really enjoyed it, and I'll probably talk about it a lot more like nicely there. But I was so happy with it, and
that's good to hear. I like it when you get a game and you're like completely enthralled with it.
Yeah, it was really good. I did love it.
I've got it, but I've not actually tried it yet.
No.
Okay, well,
I've not
play
even
it, Joe.
downloaded it yet. I will. It's just I've been playing so much art stuff recently that I've not really even downloaded it. But yeah, I do want to try it, so I will.
Okay. That aside, all I've done is play Monster Hunter World. Like, I started it up, and I've been playing it co-op with my other half, so we've been going out like on expeditions and stuff and hunting monsters together. And like, it's really different to kind of the co-op games I typically play. Like, it's really good, and the Japanese kind of element really kind of shines through with it. But I'm really enjoying it. I've been having a good laugh with it. So I'm looking forward to playing some of that a bit later as well, because I've not managed to put many hours in yet. But
what do you think of Edith?
Oh, don't! I've literally, like, so basically,
because I recommended it, I want to know.
Yeah, I've got like a certain amount of the way through. Basically, if I don't want to spoil anything, so
yeah, it's very hard not to spoil.
Yeah, but basically, you know, the basement. I finally found out how to get into the basement.
Oh yeah.
And I'll keep going into the basement, but my game keeps crashing. when I get to the bottom of the stairs. So I can't find out what's in the basement. So I'm going to have to try and find a way around that, because that seems to be a bug in my game. But it's really annoying me. I went to play it last night.
I'll let you know what's down the basement.
Oh, don't. I went to play some of it last night, and I kept going down the stairs and it kept freezing. I was like, what is this? I was like, don't do this to me. I was really enjoying this game.
Yeah, I can assure you that is not part of the game. It's not meant to do.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm glad you played it. Yeah. Hopefully you'll play a bit more.
Yeah, I will, definitely. Don't worry about it. I'm really excited to get into it again, but, bugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, that is what we've been playing. So with that, it's time for the user questions. Obviously, this is in response to a couple of tweets I put out over the past week. And our first question's from @Sean1Neo, who asks, what are your thoughts on the Hawaiian government wanting to regulate microtransactions and loot crates? And furthermore, what are your thoughts on Trump blaming movies and games for the school shooting incident? Now, I have something to say in regards to that last kind of question, because it really, really bugs me when people, especially people of authority, blame video games for acts of violence.
Yeah.
The way I see it is, if someone's that way inclined to commit such an act, it's not what they've watched, the hobbies they've indulged in. It's more or less, it's an innate thing, in my opinion, that's just a matter of time before it emerges. And I think it's kind of that every person kind of has an ability to distinguish games and TV from reality.
Yeah.
And, it's not fair to kind of point the finger at games or films for, this guy went and committed a crime that completely recreates the shooting in Modern Warfare 2, where you walk through the airport and slaughter everyone. I don't think it's fair that you can just blame something like that, when, if that was the case, surely every gamer would go and do that if it was the game's fault, if you know what I mean.
The way I see it, especially in the case of America, I mean, we've got games, we've got violent movies. We don't have school shootings all the time because we don't have guns. Take away the guns.
That's the reason,
and it's not going to happen as much. There's still going to be things happen here. I mean, sadly, kids did get shot in Scotland, and Dunblane, wasn't it? That happened because somebody got hold of a gun. It's very rare that it would happen here, though, because we don't have them. They aren't legalised. Not everyone is allowed to walk about with a gun in their pocket like they are in America, and it's just wrong mapping. But obviously, they think it's right because it's part of their constitution. That's fair enough. Each country has its own different cultures, and you've got to respect that. But I just think there's other things to blame rather than games and movies. There's a lot of things to blame. It's not, you can't just say, oh, that person would do it anyway. I mean, well, if that person would do it anyway, then the mental health services are failing them, really. So maybe they need to take a look at the mental health services. Maybe they need to take a look at the help these people need and get them the help that they need.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that can cause things like this to happen. I mean, and surely if someone's planning to do something like that, then someone would know about it. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's just so much things that I don't even think we should really go into, really, because we're treading in the water I don't know, like treading on. But I mean, it's hard. It's a complicated subject, really, to say why someone would do that sort of thing and what you can do about it, because there's so many things that probably need to be done about it that you maybe even not even think about. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think they should blame games and movies, but maybe they do play a small part in a very wide-ranging part to play, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm actually writing my dissertation about topics that sort of cover video game violence and why it's perceived as causing aggression in real life. And a lot of theorists have said that it's because in a video game you can do whatever you want and there's no consequences. And I think the problem is that if I see that's why parents don't like video games. A mum has said, I don't want my two sons playing on Grand Theft Auto until they're 16, 17, 18, because everything in that game is just, just go and do whatever you want, and there's never any consequences. But I think the thing is, you should be able to distinguish that there's right and wrong. You know what I mean? Like in a video game, yeah, it's still wrong. You don't get away with it, but it's not something you do in real life. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem, distinguishing right and wrong in real life and then right and wrong in video games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky subject, isn't it? Because
very controversial.
There's enough evidence to back up that video games are violent, because a lot of video games are very violent, so it's very tricky.
Maybe we should stick to the first part of the question.
What was the first part?
About the regulating the loot boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea, personally.
Yeah, I do as well, because especially like controversial that it was EA, wasn't it, that they got, people were just saying, oh, I'm not even buying their game, I'm getting rid of other games by them. So I mean, if I bought a game, I would want to buy the whole game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's sort of how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think it's more just down to. I don't really know about a lot about loot boxes because I don't really buy them personally, but I think it's more just kind of trying to take away the gambling aspect of it and stuff. Because there's a lot of that goes on. But I'm not a big expert on that side of the thing though, because I don't really know a lot about it, so I can't really say much, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I think just as Rebecca says, in light of like EA and that, there's obviously a lot of people that kind of oppose the idea of it, and just in light of that, maybe if they did regulate it, there'd be less kind of controversy where like games like Battlefront 2 don't do as well because everyone's so against it, kind of thing. Because that game literally failed because of that incident when it was a good game. So
and it'll always be tarred now with that brush of
exactly. It's a shame really, because it's a good game, and obviously, but you mean like if regulating loot boxes will fix things like that, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, so it's a good game. I agree there.
Okay, our second question is from, forgive me if I say this wrong, is it Jack Croxall? Like, is that the right way to say it? Or did I say it completely wrong?
Jack Croxall, yeah.
Okay, right, cool. I'm just checking I said that right. Okay. Who says, you guys talked about the Bandai Namco developing Metroid Prime 2 news. Do you think it's a good idea for major developers to hand out their IPs to smaller studios? And are there examples of it working really well?
Well, I'd say Shadow of the Colossus is a good example of it working
well. Of course, yeah.
I think it's really good, like, because especially when it comes to things like remasters and remakes, I mean, it gives the developer, like the primary kind of developer themselves, to work, like a chance to work on new IPs and continue that without deterring their attention to kind of keep alive older games. And it gives obviously like upcoming developers a chance to shine, don't it? I think it's quite good.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's lots of good examples, and I think there's some bad examples, unfortunately, but mostly there's good. I don't know what you feel about Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, Nicole, but obviously that's one that's so I don't know if that you can really class that as been handed to a different developer, because obviously I think Vicarious is part of Activision, so
yeah, they did all they did a lot of Crash Bandicoot games, basically.
Yeah,
so,
but then maybe if you look at Little Big Planet 3, which was handed to Sumo Digital, and there's a lot of criticism of that game. I don't necessarily think they did a bad job of it, personally.
That's so funny, because that's like something I'm bringing up in the later questions. Yeah. Oh gosh. But yeah, carry on, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think they've done a bad job of it, but maybe it's slightly hurt the reputation of the series.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, you think of Forza Horizon, and that's made by a completely different developer from the main series, but it's absolutely brilliant. Playground Games done a great job of that, so yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's good. I can think of more good examples than I can think of bad at the moment, really.
Donkey Kong Country by Rare.
Oh yeah.
I think I love that. I love Donkey Kong Country. I used to play so much of that when I was younger. I think it's really good. You know, I don't have anything wrong with it. I just like games, so I'm happy 90% of the time.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Right. So our third question is from Rude Cold, who asks what our most disappointing sequel is, and this is a question that arose to him upon playing Gravity Rush 2, which it didn't appeal to him as much as the first game, which is something I agree with. But Sean claims Unity is his most disappointing sequel, and it brings me on to the point of Little Big Planet 3 was mine.
There we go then.
Yeah, because I love the first two games. I thoroughly enjoyed them, and I felt obviously with the third they just kind of tried to appeal to a bigger is better ideology, and it just felt too much, and it just deterred too far from what made the original kind of two games great for me. So it was just massively disappointing for me, to be honest.
Do you have one, Rebecca? Because I'm still trying to think.
For me, probably Resident Evil 6, which I was not here for. I played Resident Evil. I've loved all the Resident Evil games. I remember coming off playing Resident Evil 5, and then obviously Resident Evil 6 was out, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go straight on that. And I was just like, what have they done? What have they done to this amazing franchise? They've just, ruined it. You know, thank God they redeemed themselves with Resident Evil 7. That's an amazing game, but
yeah,
it really took a dip. And it's, it's kind of like the fifth sequel. It's the second sequel. But, I don't know. I could never get my head around that game. And people I talked to were like, oh, you just got to give it time. And I just didn't enjoy it one bit. I don't think I even finished it. I thought from what they had produced so far, I was really disappointed, because I obviously had already played, all the Resi Evils, 4 or 5. And then I was like, I'll play 6. And I was like, oh, okay.
I think for me it's FIFA, because every time a new FIFA comes out, it's just a bit disappointing, because it never feels like it's changed that much. So, yeah, FIFA. I think that's a fair enough comment, because every time you get a new one comes out, it feels like they could have just patched it to me. So, yeah. That's what I'm sticking with. Yeah. FIFA. We got another question?
Yeah, we got two more. I don't think we should stay too long on this question because we talk about it a lot. But the fourth question is from Kieran Rosart, who asks, how do we feel about trophies and how they influence the way we play games? And he believes himself that they add another dimension. But for me, it just adds a reason for me to kind of strive for more thorough level of completion. That's all they really do for me, to be honest.
That's what I'd say. I think if I'm playing something... If I'm just playing a normal game, then 90% of the time it's like, oh, I got a trophy, that's nice. But if I'm playing something I really like, then it sort of makes me go like, oh, okay, I'll do all the extras because I like this game and I want to see all of it. So yeah, for sort of the same reason as you then, Nicole.
Huh. What about you, Jay?
Nah, I've said all I've got to say on trophies, really.
We need Dan here for trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right, our last question is from James Grantham 26, who asks, what is your favourite quote from a video game?
Buddy.
Aww. Yeah. Yeah, he wants to know our favourite quote from a video game, claiming his favourite is in Borderlands 2 when you kill a nomad and all you hear is, all of this for any minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Good question, James.
I'm trying. Mine, I'd say it's an Andrew Ryan quote from BioShock, because the game is just chock-a-block with awesome quotes centered around the philosophy of the game. And my favorite is, we all make choices, but in the end our choices make us. I think that's a fantastic quote.
Whoa, mine's just I just like it. Mine's not anything profound. Mine's from Bloodborne, and it's Provost Willem, who says, we are born of the blood, made men of the blood, and undone by the blood. And that's Bloodborne's little tagline. So
that rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does. Just lots of blood.
Mine's is I'm not alone. End of Darksiders. You need to be there to appreciate that comment. I'm not alone. Oh, so good.
Right.
So good.
Okay. That's the questions done, so I'll hand things over to you, Joe.
Okay, though. Right, during the week, I thought I would just think of a little thing to interact with our community. So during the week, I asked if you could mash up two games, what would they be? So quite a lot of you responded to this, because it's just a fun little question. So, and wow, there's a lot of interesting answers as well. Right, Miles, one of our backers on Patreon, he responded with Metal Gear Survive and Battlefield Hardline, just to get the fanboys in salt mode, he said.
Jeez.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'll just laugh at it. Thanks.
Roll with it.
Bloodborne and
I like it. I like where it's going.
It's sold already.
I'm already
Bloodborne and
buying
Destruction Derby. Now try to get your head around that by Shingle Bing. I like that idea actually because I might actually be able to kill some enemies in Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
I can just run them over. Yes.
Oh, I love that guy. He's great.
Oh, that's brilliant. Great answer. I like that. Fallout and Borderlands, Madden and The Sims, Pokemon and Skyrim. Possibilities are endless. That's from James again. You just keep popping up, don't you, James? Pokemon Skyrim. That could be quite interesting, actually.
It's interesting.
Yeah, open world Pokemon.
Catch them all with a big sword. Yeah, caught you, Pikachu. Yeah.
Have you played Pokemon, Joe?
Yeah, I have, yeah. I quite like it, actually, to be fair. I quite like it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I get quite hooked on it sometimes.
I think we all do.
Yeah, definitely.
Pokemon Go, I got hooked on for ages.
Oh,
and
don't.
the kids were walking about everywhere doing it. That was quite funny.
Yeah.
Doom and Horizon Zero Dawn, Joe Robinson.
I think that'd be quite good.
Yeah,
Lots of demons. Lots of demonic. Well, the robots in Horizon Zero Dawn already don't like you, so...
Do you go for the
just be more
dark
intense.
setting, or do you go for the Doom enemies instead of the robot dinosaurs?
Maybe a bit both.
Maybe the Doom mechanic of kind of fast-paced, in-your-face, first-person shooter, but the robots. I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that could be good. Halo and Evolve, because I really like the art of Evolve and really thought it deserves a story mode. This could really benefit with a co-op story mode that tells the story from each character's point of view from No Fate. Jeez, you put a lot of thought into that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Transformers themed Twisted Metal game. Use vehicle mode for speed and defense, then when desired transform for combat mode and more firepower. Interesting. That's another one from No Fate. He's obviously got big imagination. And he also says Burnout and Time Crisis. This is a co-op game where one drives, one shoots, then required to switch roles in order to reload. There you go. FIFA and Roll Cage. Oh wait, Sonny G. That one went off my head. I presume it's funny, but I don't know. Monster Hunter and Horizon Zero Dawn. After having all those cool traps and gameplay from Horizon Zero Dawn, playing Monster Hunter felt extremely lacking, and probably why I got bored fast. Whereas Horizon Zero Dawn was fun for the whole time I played it, said Liam. Oh wait, here's another Bloodborne one. Bloodborne or Dark Souls and Pokemon. That's from Born.
Ooh, okay. Okay. I can get on board with that.
You're like, I knew you was going to say that.
I'm like trying to think of all like the bosses you could have in your Pokeball, like all these grotesque, slimy monsters that look like they're inside out. Just like, I choose you, Bloodstarved Beast.
That would be so good.
Oh, more Dark Souls, Silent Hill, Tekken, Final Fantasy, Tetris, Bomberman. That's from Vita Fan 9. Tetris and Bomberman, Tekken and Final Fantasy, Dark Souls and Silent Hill. Dark Souls and Silent Hill, that could be an interesting combination.
Yeah.
Okay, and Rob came up with one as well, our own Rob. He said, is no one going to suggest Barbie plus Sisters Puppy Rescue and Outlast? Barbie's sisters were bit by a dog, then saved and taken to an institute. Barbie didn't hear from them for weeks, so goes to investigate only to find out they've become rabid socialite werewolves on the loose.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Took me a while to read that one. Nice one, Rob. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, right. That was fun. Thanks for all your interaction. That was great. Great. I don't know. Did we have any suggestions? We've not suggested any. What do you think, Rebecca?
Me?
Oh, Nicole, go on.
Yeah, okay, Nicole, you've got one.
Oh, okay. BioShock meets Fallout or Skyrim, so you get to like explore Rapture as you would like Fallout or Skyrim. So like your Deathclaw's like your big daddy, or you know, you get like all the different plasmids as weapon. Oh, it'd be so good. Just make that.
What about you, Rebecca?
I saw, it's not mine, but I saw someone say they wanted to see a Bloodborne Mario Kart mashup, and I'd love that. I think that sounds amazing.
I've got a good one. I'd mix Nier with Portal so that I could get it started out at the end.
Oh,
no.
So
Portal.
mean to that game.
Okay. And now it's time to talk about what's out next week. Oh, I'm losing my voice. TTI Oman's out on the 6th of March on PS4, Xbox One, PC. Bravo Team is releasing for PSVR. That's on the 7th of March. And also for Fanatics, which is a new PlayLink game, is coming out on the 7th of March. And Scribblenauts Showdown on 9th of March. And I'll go on
Super
more.
Scribblenauts?
Scribblenauts Showdown.
The Super Scribblenauts one?
I think it's a new one, but I don't know if it's Super Scribblenauts or not. And then the Life is Strange Before Stormbox Edition, that's coming out as well on the 9th. Just a couple more before that as well. We've got Moss, which is a PSVR game that Rob's been talking about. That's coming out on 27th of February, and also The Blob, which is also on 27th of February. And Gravel as well. Shiny, Super Hot. These are all ones that come out soon. So yeah, so there we go. That's what's coming out soon. So we'll be keeping an eye on all of them, won't we?
Yeah.
We might even have a few reviews for some of them as well. So yeah, that's it. And now it's close to the end of the podcast. Before we go, I just want to say that we've got a new merchandise store to go for new logo. So you can get all our cool logo and all sorts of merchandise, from teddy bears to hats and t-shirts and all sorts, and they look really cool actually. So yeah, I might be buying something myself soon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, check that out on our website, squarexo.co.uk, and you can just go to the little merchandise tab. Or if you're really clever, you can just type in squarexo.co.uk/merchandise. There we go. So
also, not many days left of the SquareXO February photo share competition.
Yep. So make sure you get your entries in. Take your favourite screenshots. Just tweet them to us with #SquareXO February.
February?
Right?
Yeah, you had to think about that, didn't you?
Okay. And while we're still talking about SquareXO, I just want to mention that we do have quite a few new articles on the website. Nicole's already mentioned our free review. We've got Kingdom Come Deliverance review from me. We've got a few reviews from Rob himself, who reviewed North, The Station, and also Suicide Guy, and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So check the website, check out our reviews and our articles, because that's another part of what we do, apart from this wonderful podcast. So there we go. You know where to find us, you know where to follow us. Leave us a nice review, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.